to Magnificat.tv News, dedicated to offering news from the Church. Today is Wednesday, December 4th, 2019. Pope Francis has asked theologians not to transfer their controversies into the people, as it only leads to confusion. Once again, the Holy Father has rejected the legalization of euthanasia, claiming that it has no legal basis. Emeritus Pope Benedict XVI has written to the International Theological Commission, reminding them of what has happened in the 50 years since they have existed. Cardinal Mueller has warned that the adoration to the Pachamama that took place in the Vatican may lead thousands of Catholics who are shocked with what happened away from the Church. The Vatican has granted an award to a priest who founded an institution in order to help homosexuals live in chastity. Pope Francis has said that controversies among theologians must stay inside their academic circles so the people don't get confused.
On the occasion of their 50th anniversary, the Pope received the International Theological Commission in a hearing. He told them that a theologian should confront issues that are not clear and take the risks in their discussions. But to the people of God, what needs to be given is the solid food of faith instead of feeding them with controversies.
Francis said, the dimension of relativism, so to speak, has to remain among theologians. It is your vocation, but never take it to the people, because then the people lose its direction and its faith. The Pontiff assured, give to the people always the solid food that nourishes faith.
He also thanked them for the last documents prepared by the Commission, one about the meaning of synodality and the other about religious freedom. About this issue, the Pope highlighted the risk that a state ethically neutral could make religions stay away from civil life at the expense of the common good.
He reminded them that in order to make a good theology, their two constitutive dimensions should never be forgotten. The first one is the spiritual life. The second dimension is the ecclesial life, feeling in the Church and with the Church.
Pope Francis has said that legalizing euthanasia is not possible. There is no legal basis for allowing that kind of law.
The Pope has assured that euthanasia has no legal basis and has criticized the verdicts according to which the main interest of the elder or disabled person would be to die and not being healed.
When he received in a hearing the lawyers who are registered in the study center that has the name of that judge and which studies issues concerning the right to life, he highlighted the example of Rosario Livatino in the field of law.
Rosario Livatino was killed by the Mafia in 1990. Rosario Livatino has left for all a shining example of how faith can be completely at the service of the civil community and its laws, and how obedience to the Church can be combined with an obedience to the state, especially along with the sensitive and important ministries of law enforcement and implementation.
The Rosario Livatino Study Center is a group of lawyers who study issues related to the right to life, family, and religious freedom in coherence with the natural law, following the example of the Italian judge killed by the Mafia, for whom the diocesan beatification process has successfully concluded.
Benedict XVI wrote to the International Theological Commission on the occasion of their 50th anniversary, encouraging them to seek the truth from humbleness.
Benedict XVI has sent a greeting message to the International Theological Commission on the occasion of the 50th anniversary of its creation. The Emeritus Pope makes a review of the Commission's history, noting its difficulties and pointing out its contribution to the Church.
In his message, the Emeritus Pope claims that when Paul VI created the Commission soon after the Vatican II Council, it was necessary in order to overcome the detachment that had surfaced during the Council between the theology that was being developed in the world and the Pope's magisterium.
In his letter, Benedict XVI deals, among other things, with the debate created in the Commission about the liberation theology, which at the moment didn't represent a theoretical problem at all, but it only specifically assessed and also threatened the life of the Church in South America.
He also recalls the conflict about moral theology inside the Commission. The Emeritus Pope says, "The opposition among various fronts and the lack of a common basic approach, which we still lack today, was clear to me at that moment in an unprecedented manner, as he acknowledges that a consensus is still missing."
The German pontiff ends his message like this: "Only humbleness can find truth, and at the same time, truth has its basis in love, from which it all depends ultimately."
Cardinal Mueller has recognized with deep regret that the thousands of Catholics shocked by the adoration of the Pachamama in the Vatican may defect into sects.
Cardinal Mueller has warned that the images about the worship to the Pachamama during the Amazonia Synod could provoke a massive exodus of believers from the Church in the region. The protesting groups are strengthened in their accusations about idolatry against Catholicism.
He added, "Hundreds of thousands of Catholics in the Amazonian area and wherever they may have seen the videos of this Roman show will abandon the Church in protest." And he asked, "Did anyone think about the consequences, or they simply assumed that it would be a collateral damage?"
The enculturation ability of the Church lies in baptism. If the peoples in the Amazon belong to Christ through baptism, they cannot practice at the same time adoration to idols and Catholic worship, he clarified.
Mueller recalled that in Lycaonia, they wanted to offer sacrifices to Saints Paul and Barnabas because they considered they were the gods Hermes and Zeus. But St. Paul replied, "We bring you the gospel. Abandon vain idols and convert to the living God, who made heaven and earth, the seas and all they contain in them."
The priest who founded Courage in order to help homosexuals be chaste has been awarded by the Vatican.
The Vatican has announced the granting of the Pro Ecclesia et Pontifici Cross to the priest Philip Buchansky. This award is granted to Catholics who stand out for their long and distinguished service to the Church.
Father Bochansky is the director of Courage, a ministry aimed at attending and giving pastoral support to homosexual individuals so they can live in chastity. They also give support to their families.
On his part, the awarded priest has assured that his work with Courage has transformed his life, and he has said that he hopes that every Courage family sees this award granted by the pontiff as a recognition of his commitment in favor of telling truth and charity.
The award will be presented by Monsignor Chaput, Archbishop of Philadelphia, who not only defends the Catholic doctrine about homosexuality and the attending to homosexuals, but he also warns about the false teachings from the priest James Martin and those of the bishops who support him.
Our editorial this week is dedicated to remembering that hope, which is the virtue of Advent, helps us to face our problems without being bitter.
Me ha impresionado mucho la carta que el editor de la revista de Reinan, Michael Matt, ha dado a conocer, una carta pública, abierta, una carta dirigida al Papa Francisco. Es el heredero de una saga de editores, de periodistas que han estado siempre al servicio de la Iglesia, y refleja esa carta un gran amor a la Iglesia y también un profundo sufrimiento por la situación que está atravesando la misma. Y he pensado enseguida en tantas personas como él y de una forma especial en el Papa emérito Benedicto XVI. ¿Qué estará sintiendo el Papa Benedicto ante lo que está pasando? Allí en su retiro en el corazón del Vaticano, ¿qué estará sintiendo cuando ha leído o le han contado el contenido del libro del periodista Scalfari, que recoge lo que según él, según el periodista, le ha dicho el Papa Francisco en las distintas entrevistas que han tenido? seguro que un enorme dolor, repito, ante lo que está pasando. Un enorme sufrimiento, y como él, tantos en la Iglesia. Muchos se burlan de estas personas que sufren, muchos los desprecian, los insultan, muchísimos, los consideran marginales, los consideran como personas que deben estar ya cuanto antes fuera de la Iglesia. Muchos los insultan, pero son personas que han amado, que aman a la Iglesia y que están sufriendo y sufriendo mucho. El problema del dolor, el dolor moral, el dolor físico, el dolor espiritual, el problema del dolor es que puede acarrear la destrucción de la persona. También puede purificar a la persona, pero puede acarrear esa destrucción. Puede llevar a la persona a la desesperación. Y el fruto de la desesperación es generalmente la muerte, la violencia. No digo que esto sea así, al contrario, también es verdad que el dolor muchas veces, muchísimas veces, purifica. La clave va a estar precisamente en cómo se afronta ese dolor. ¿Hay esperanza para afrontar ese dolor? ¿O hay desesperación? San Pablo en su carta a los romanos habla de la esperanza. Por un lado dice, la esperanza no defrauda. Y por otro lado, el capítulo 12, ya terminando la carta, dice que la esperanza os tenga alegres. La esperanza es una virtud que es tanto más virtud cuanto no hay motivos humanos para tenerla. Lo mismo que la caridad. La caridad es tanto más virtuosa cuanto más ganas tienes de salir corriendo y no ayudar a la persona necesitada. Hacer algo que va en contra de lo que te apetece, de lo que el instinto te dice, es verdadera virtud cuando es lógicamente algo bueno. Estamos en un tiempo en el cual es absolutamente imprescindible la virtud de la esperanza. Estamos empezando el Adviento. Es el tiempo de la esperanza. Pero no una esperanza de velita encendida o de calendario porque así lo marca la publicidad. Es la esperanza de aquellos que estando dentro del túnel sin ver la salida e incluso aunque te están diciendo que no existe la salida, que te rindas, que no hay solución o que te vayas, porque esto ya no tiene vuelta atrás, que esto va a ir así y va a ir siempre a más. Bueno, pues a pesar de eso, en esta hora, en este momento, es cuando tenemos que decir, Señor, yo creo en ti, yo confío en ti, yo espero en ti. Si no lo hacemos así, desesperación, dolor, un dolor sin fruto, amargura, incluso violencia, aunque sea violencia muchas veces solo verbal. Afortunadamente yo conozco a mucha gente que está viviendo la esperanza. Por supuesto estoy seguro de que el Papa Benedicto XVI vive esta esperanza y que naturalmente no cree nada de lo que dice Scalfari sobre el Papa Francisco. Yo tampoco. Pero además de él, por ejemplo, pienso en mis amigos sacerdotes venezolanos que están sufriendo de una manera impresionante junto a su pueblo para mantenerles en vilo, para mantenerles en pie, para mantenerles con la llama de la esperanza encendida y para intentar darles al menos una arepa que aparezca milagrosamente con que calmar algo el hambre. Ellos son, el Papa, los que están en esta situación difícil y no se rinden, nuestro ejemplo, nuestro modelo en estas horas oscuras. La esperanza nos tiene que sostener. La esperanza nos tiene que mantener alegres. Es la hora de la virtud de la esperanza. Repito, aunque nos digan y nos lo demuestren y nos pongan números delante de los ojos y nos certifiquen por todos los medios posibles que esto no tiene solución y que tienen todo el poder y que lo van a ejercer y se burlen de nosotros y nos insulten y nos amenacen como hacen cada día. No dejemos que la amargura sea la dueña de nuestro corazón. Que la esperanza verdadera, la esperanza virtuosa, la esperanza en el Dios del amor nos mantenga alegres y que cuando llegue el Señor, al cual tenemos que pedir, eso sí, que venga pronto, cuando llegue el Señor, que nos encuentre no tristes y amargados, sino de pie, alegres y también felices por haber resistido en esta hora tan difícil de la historia de la Iglesia. Hasta la semana que viene, si Dios quiere.
If you wish to be up to date with what is happening in the Church, follow us on our page, www.catolicosonline.org. Until next week, God willing.